Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. We're back with another starting 11 prediction ahead of tomorrow's trip to Kilmarnock. We come into this game obviously 12 points clear after last week's 3-2 victory over Rangers. What a weekend it was, what a day it was. Really enjoyed bringing you the content. Brilliant to see Celtic get another victory over Rangers. And as we talked about in the full-time reaction and the content the next day, it maybe wasn't our best performance of the season, but we found a way to win. And obviously the narrative has been following the game that Rangers put on this fantastic performance, and while they did stifle us a bit in the first half without the ball, when they had the ball they didn't really create very much. Their goals came from set pieces. They didn't really carve us open play. I think when they got the ball they looked much less dangerous than Celtic did, and we were ruthless on the day. What a massive victory. And as I say, what a weekend to come into this game. We need 10 points to seal the title so we can take another massive step tomorrow. Kilmarnock come into it sitting 10th in the table, trying to stave off any chances of relegation, even the playoff spot in 11th. They're still down there fighting, so it will be a difficult game. I expect, obviously, it'll be a bit more difficult than the 5-0 game there earlier in the season. They've actually had a really good home record this season so far, Kilmarnock, so they'll make it difficult for us. But I fully expect that if we go there and play to the level we've been playing at, we can get another victory and take a massive step towards sealing the title. Right, without further ado then, we'll get to the team and we'll start in goals with Joe Hart. Not too much to do last week. One good save from Morelos at the back post, but as I say, other than that, Rangers didn't really create too much aside for their goals. The Tavernier free kick, can he do better? I don't know. I thought at the game it was right in the corner. I know it goes in off the bar, which makes it difficult for any goalkeeper to get near, but it was a lot more centre left or centre right as Hart's looking at it than I thought it was. But it's a great free kick. I don't think he can do too much about it. No doubt he'll start tomorrow. The back four I think will be unchanged. Johnston, Carter Vickers, Starfelt and Greg Taylor. Johnston last weekend, brilliant in his defending, brilliant in his intensity and winning tackles, even his recovery pace, brilliant at times. I just love the attitude that he brings to the team. And I think he's one of the more nasty players in this Celtic team, having only just arrived a few months ago. I don't think we've got too many nasty players, and that's not a bad thing when it's done in the right way, especially in those games. And I thought Johnson epitomised that last weekend. Right in midfield, I think we are going to see a change. I think Tomoki Iwata is going to start. He had a great impact in the game last week. I thought he comes on about 60 minutes. I thought he really helped us take control of the midfield. He was given a lot better angles for the centre halves to build the play. He was pulling out to the right hand side. I think that's actually a part of the second goal that Kyogo ends up scoring. It starts with Carter Vickers deep and Iwata's pulling out wide to give him an option and demanding the ball. I thought he read the game really well. He was getting on second balls, he was making interceptions, winning tackles. I thought he gave us a bit of authority in midfield exactly when we needed it. And 10 minutes after being on the pitch, we're up 3-1. So I think he had a real good impact in the game. I think he should start tomorrow. I think Aaron Moy will drop out. It could be a good game to get Aaron Moy up to speed, because I think that was one of the big weaknesses for him last weekend. He hadn't played enough football in the previous 3 weeks to get up to speed. He's probably at that stage of his career, the type of player he is. He needs games. He can't just come in a standing start and be at his top level. I think he was caught sleeping a few times, but I do think Iwata will get the nod. I think McGregor will play ahead of him. You can debate all day about how effective McGregor is in that forward 8 position compared to the 6 in this Celtic team. He's so used to playing the 6 now, and I think that's where his best game is, but he's got all the qualities to play further up, and I think he might do that tomorrow. I think O'Reilly will play alongside him. I thought he was good last weekend, Matt O'Reilly. I said it was a big opportunity for him to silence some doubters, and I think broadly speaking he did that. He wasn't absolutely scintillating man of the match, but he played a key part in the first goal. He takes a beautiful touch around Tavernier and then picks out Kyogo. I know a few people were saying it wasn't a good pass because it was behind him, but Kyogo's movement is reading the pass from O'Reilly, so he goes to dart into the 6-yard box and then he just holds back and O'Reilly's ball maybe slightly behind him, but it's enough for him to control it, swivel and finish. I thought he was good. Obviously, he's rash to give away the free kick on the edge of the box, but I thought over the piece it was a good performance for Matt O'Reilly, a better performance than we've seen from him, and hopefully it'll do his confidence and his belief the world of good, and he can finish the season in a really strong vein of form. I think Jota will play from the right hand side. Excellent last week. Again, not his best game in a Celtic jersey, but he's so effective. And I said this in the post-match pint when I was talking to Kenny and Darren. He always wants the ball. He demands it. He tries to make things happen. He never hides regardless of the situation. And I know that might be the bare minimum you expect from a Celtic player, but it doesn't change how challenging it is when there's 60,000 people there, and there was nerves. There was nerves coming from the stands early in the game, but Jota is constantly trying to make things happen, and his ability to take that touch round McGregor, stay calm and just slide it away with his left foot. It's a really difficult finish that he makes look really, really easy. Most other players in the park wouldn't have finished that with that ease. And again, it comes from him putting the defensive work in. Ange pointed this out in the press conference yesterday. That goal comes from Jota, willing to put the defensive work in for the team and close people down. I think he'll be on the right-hand side. I think Haksabanovic should and might get a start on the left-hand side tomorrow. It's really hard to judge how Ange will line up. I thought Maeda was quite quiet last weekend. I think it's maybe a good opportunity for Haksabanovic to get some game time. The only reservation I'd have is that because we're back to one game a week for now, Ange might just keep it pretty consistent with the starting lineup, keep the strongest 11 in there. I think Haksabanovic looked bright again when he came on last weekend, and I think he deserves a couple more starts. And if we can get him those between now and the end of the season, I think that'll be brilliant for him, brilliant for us to see him, because he's such an entertaining player to watch. And maybe in these games, and who knows, maybe Motherwell at home next week as well. Good games for him to try and showcase his ability and stake his claim, because the players will be looking ahead to the Scottish Cup semi-final, hopefully the final, should we get the right result in the semi, and they want to be involved in those games, they want to be starting those games. But I think for Haksabanovic to do that, he's got to get a couple of starts before then and prove to the manager that he's the right player to pick. Through the middle, it will be the top scorer, Kyogo Furuhashi. We waxed lyrical about him again in the content after last week's game. 28 goals for the season, rapidly closing in on 30, but all the while bringing this impeccable attitude, impeccable work rate, and this sixth sense to be in the right place at the right time in the penalty area and just finish with unerring ease. He's brilliant. He is the most important player in this Celtic team. I would argue he's the most important signing that Ange made. I think there was a reason that he was the first player that Ange went and got, and I think from the minute he walked in the door, you could tell that a striker with his qualities was absolutely tailor-made for this Celtic team in the style that Ange Postecoglou wants to play. He's an absolute joy to watch, and hopefully he can smash through that 30-goal mark, and we can continue comparing him with the great strikers that Celtic have had in recent years. A lot of debate about who's the best since Henrik Larsson, and it's maybe too early to adorn Kyogo as that just now, but there's no doubt that he's on the way. He's putting up a great case, and now he's got the record in big games. He's starting to get the goals against Rangers, 5 in his last 3 games. I think the record number of goals against Rangers in one season is Henrik Larsson with 6. So he's got a chance to break that with 2 games against him remaining. He's putting up a strong case, but as I say, the main thing for me is he's an absolute joy to watch in this Celtic team. So there you go, that's 11 I think the manager will go with. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts below, and we will see you tomorrow at Rugby Park with all of the full-time reaction. Cheers.